Cat, home of brilliant children's books. Meow.
Hi, my name's Mark Dorey.
And I am Seren Dorey.
And this is another Tomser Cat book review. And today we're going to review an audio book that we listened to while going up to visit our relatives. And the book is called
Morgana Mage in the Robotic Age.
Morgana Mage in the Robotic Age, and it's by Amy Bond, okay? And it's a 4.5 hour or 4 hours 22 minutes audio book that we listened to in the car on the way up to, as I say, to see our relatives. But as always, if you are enjoying these Tomser Cat book reviews, why not like, subscribe and click the bell, and you'll never miss and you'll never miss another episode. And
Sorry.
I'm glad the camera's far away. So just to start off then, Seren is going to read the blurb from her other little tablet.
Okay, Morgana Mage loves robots, but as a witch, she lives outside the nearby city with its shiny new technology. Science and magic are never mixed. Determined to change things, Morgana finds her way into her chosen school of robotics, only to discover a secret that threatens both of the worlds. It's up to Morgana to work out a solution if she has the brains and the spells to do it.
So the book is actually narrated by Roshin. Oh, I can't remember her surname. It's an Irish lady, and she.
Roshin Nassin, I think.
Yeah, she narrates really, really well. But my only criticism is that when she changes,
I feel like she doesn't do the voices.
She doesn't. Well. She doesn't change voices. So sometimes for the audio book, you don't get a sense of who's speaking.
Yeah,
because she hasn't got much variety in her voice.
She's got good expression.
She's got very good expression.
Yeah.
And with the robot, she's okay. But with the main characters, she's not. Wow. So, the story is set around Morgana Mage, who lives in the woods with all the other witches and warlocks and everything else. And they live outside of this big robotic city. And this big robotic city, the people in the big robotic city who make all these wonderful robots, shiny new robots, they have nothing to do with the witches and warlocks, because they don't like magic, do they, sir?
No.
Well answered. They don't like magic at all. And so what happens is you got these two distinct peoples who never mix, even though in times past the witches and the warlocks, they actually helped the people in the city in some sort of war, which we're not really told about, but they helped them in the past. But then the people were not grateful, and basically the witches and the warlocks stayed in the woods, and
they're basically separated.
And a lot of that goes on in the world today. But in this big shiny city, there's loads of robots and everything else. But never the twain shall meet. They never sort of go near each other. But one day Morgana secretly visits the city with her best friend Esther, who's Morgana's not a particularly good witch. I don't mean she's not nice. I mean she can't do many spells, can she?
No.
She's quite a failure as a witch.
A little bit like a worst witch.
No, a little bit like a worst witch, and that she's trying to discover why she's not very good at magic. But her best friend Esther and her older brother Thurlock is good at magic, and Esther she and Esther decides to go in and have a look at this city for themselves. And they're absolutely blown away by all the robots, and all the robots are serving all the people. So they've got things like robots in the kitchen, doing the vacuuming, doing the washing up, doing the cooking, cleaning the streets, doing everything, policing and everything. And Morgana just thinks, oh, well, I wish I could go to school there, but because she's not allowed to go to school there because she's a witch or a warlock, a witch, and they don't like magic, she doesn't stand a chance. But she somehow tricks her way into going to school. Okay, so she tricks her way into going to school. But when she goes, everyone hates her. The teachers hate her, don't they? And all her classmates really ignore her and are really horrible to her. And they just very suspicious of her and everything else. And it's really not good, is it? It's not a pleasant part of the book, really, because you can really feel how isolated Morgana is.
And left out.
And left out, yeah. But she eventually makes one friend. Who's the friend? Jonathan. And Jonathan is the son of a professor of robotics who makes robots. And they become good friends, but the rest of the class don't really like her at all. They don't even give her a chance. It's really not a nice part of the book, but they don't. And the teachers don't give her a chance. But Jonathan does give her a chance, and he invites her home to his home where
they could work on a robot.
Where they can work on a robot as part of a school project. The robot's called Proto, is that right?
Yeah, but they fought over the name.
Yeah, and she also has a little robot cat called Kitty. Okay, and the Kitty and Jonathan are the only two friends she has, because even her mum and her dad and her best friend Esther and her brother, they reject her because she's gone to this shiny school and she goes there every day, and they're going, why do you want to go to school? Why do you want to learn all this silly robotic stuff when you can learn magic? And so really she's alienated from both camps. But what happens is they discover that Jonathan's dad has been on a secret project making this almost human robot. So and this robot's called Ingrid, and she doesn't look like a robot, she looks more human. But making human robots is prohibited, it's against the law. So he's actually made Ingrid in secret, and she's behind locked doors in his workshop. That's right, isn't it? And basically then what happens is the story develops with the robot Ingrid, but we can't give too much away. And basically Morgana discovers that she has got magic powers after all, but I can't say too much. And the thing is, magic doesn't work on robots because they're made of steel and iron and metal, and magic and iron and steel just doesn't go together. But Morgana's magic is slightly different, and it comes to a point where she, Jonathan and Ingrid have some altercations together with some dire consequences. The thing is, can Morgana save everything and possibly bring the two peoples together? So I don't want to give anything else away. So what did you think of the book, Sarah? What do you think of the characters?
They were good. Yep. I liked Morgana. I liked Kitty. Yeah, the characters were pretty good.
Yeah, they were well drawn. The characters were well drawn. As I said, I think with the audiobook, I didn't feel that the narrator particularly was able to vary her voice a lot in the characters.
Especially the people who were male.
Yeah, and it just that spoiled it a little bit for me. But the characters are well drawn, and the story, I mean, particularly when Morgana gets isolated from her class and picked on and everything else, it really is, you know, it's not nice, and that comes across really well. And the social isolation and the difference between the two worlds, because Morgana's family who live in the woods, they're nowhere near as rich, and they've got, you know, very basic housing in the woods and everything else. So that comes across very well, and the story itself is not too bad. So we're going to give it a star rating now. So what would you give it out of 5 stars?
Probably 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think I'm not sure how much the narration contributes to that, but I do feel with a different narrator that I might have given it a higher score, but I would give it a 3 out of 5. So that's the end of our review for the audiobook Morgana Mage in the Robotic Age. We hope you've enjoyed, and as always, if you are enjoying, why not like, subscribe and hit the bell, and you'll never miss, I was going to say hiss, but you'll never hiss or miss another episode. So from me and Sarah, bye-bye.
Bye.